Good evening, all Dharma masters and all Lotus friends. Namo Amitabha. Tonight I will be presenting to you an article that can show us how even our own cultivation of faith on the Pure Land path is given to us while relying on other power. This is titled Encountering the Dharma and the Cultivation of Faith by Master Zongdao. Master Honen once told his disciple Monk Seikan, Amitabha-reciters need not worry whether one could cultivate faith in this Dharma teaching as soon as one encounters it. Learning and having faith do not necessarily occur at the same time. Faith will come when the right conditions arise. I'm not sure what the exact context of this conversation was. Perhaps Monk Seikan had previously told Master Honen how frustrated he was in propagating this Dharma path. It could be that despite putting in an enormous amount of effort to spread the teaching somewhere, or when sharing it with relatives and friends, he was met with indifference or a reluctance to accept it. Life struggles are universal. The problems we face today are similar to those faced by people in the past. Master Honen then shared a personal anecdote with Seikan to explain why learning the Dharma and having faith in it do not have to occur at the same time. He said he once met a mountain monk who asked, I came across the Pure Land teaching long ago, and through study, I've roughly grasped its principles and core meaning. However, upon reflection, I find I still have doubts and lack confidence in the assurance of rebirth. How can I cultivate the faith? Master Honen replied, you should pray for the power of the three jewels, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, to be subtly bestowed upon you, so that you may soon dispel your doubts and develop your faith. This mountain monk was really fortunate. Had it been someone else, they might have jumped at the chance to act as his teacher and gone on, lecturing endlessly, from the vows made by Dharmakara Bhikkhu to his attainment of Buddhahood as Amitabha Buddha, trying hard to stir up his faith. However, Master Honen simply said gently, you should seek help from the three jewels. That was it, nothing more. What's remarkable is that this monk truly heeded the Master's advice. From then on, he diligently engaged in daily worship and prayers before the Buddha. When sentient beings have sincere intentions, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas will surely respond, just as a bell rings when struck. The Buddha responds to all kinds of worldly requests. How could he not care about the most important spiritual issue of life after death? One day, this monk visited Todai-ji, Japan's most famous temple. He saw some workmen attempting to fit a massive, incredibly long and heavy beam into the ceiling of the newly built hall. The beam was intricately tied with a few thick ropes, and with the combined efforts of many people, it was lifted from the ground. Miraculously, it moved and rotated, positioning itself perfectly atop the hall, as if it had flown there on its own. Witnessing this astounding sight, the monk reflected, without the ingenious design and craftsmanship of skilled workers, how could such a massive rafter possibly be fitted into the very high ceiling. If we iniquitous ordinary beings can achieve such an unimaginable feat, how much greater must the power be of Amitabha Buddha? With my intention to be reborn in the Pure Land, and Amitabha Buddha's vow to receive me, how could I not be reborn there? Under the subtle blessings of the three jewels, his realization came with incredible speed. What seemed like an ordinary incident to others struck the monk like a bolt of lightning. In that very moment, he developed an unshakable faith about his future rebirth in the Pure Land. All doubts were instantly and completely swept away, like frost before the wind. From that day onward, the monk lived a life of deep serenity and contentment. 3 years later, he passed away peacefully, and auspicious signs of his rebirth in the Pure Land were evident to all. This anecdote provided me with profound insight. First, we can seek the subtle blessings of the three jewels when facing difficulties, whether worldly or spiritual. In our daily lives, we often turn to others for help during hardships. So why do we forget to turn to the power of the three jewels on our spiritual journeys? Second, learning the Dharma and developing faith do not always occur simultaneously. In my experience, it's rare for someone to immediately develop faith upon hearing the teachings. Usually, there's a period of reflection and absorption, which can be lengthy. However, once the seed of liberation, indestructible as Vajra, is planted in the storehouse of our consciousness, it remains forever and never decays. At the right time, it will inevitably sprout, blossom, and bear fruit. Moreover, this story offers great comfort to all who spread Dharma. If we take a long-term perspective, as long as the teachings are correct, our effort will never be wasted. Just because someone does not accept the teachings immediately does not mean that our propagation has failed. Once they have heard or seen the Dharma, they have fundamentally received the teaching. Developing faith is merely a matter of time. As the Lotus Sutra says, no effort will be in vain. In the circulation sections of many Mahayana sutras, it is often mentioned that even a single recitation of a verse or a line from a scripture can yield immeasurable and inconceivable merits. Likewise, one who copies just a sentence or a paragraph of a sutra can have his karma of the 5 most heinous offenses eliminated. The scriptures do not emphasize that the propagator must convince the audience to joyfully accept the teachings, or that the copied texts must be widely distributed. Instead, it is stated that the merit is already complete at the moment these acts are performed. This is perhaps because, as Master Honen's story illustrates, those who see or hear the teachings will surely, at some point, develop faith. Lastly, this anecdote also reminds us that there's no need to be anxious or impatient when we face a stubborn or resistant audience while spreading the Dharma. Just plant the seeds of liberation. Who knows? The person who opposes the teachings most fiercely now might be the one who develops the most fervent faith in the future. Thank you for allowing me your time to learn this sharing with you tonight. Namo Amitofo.